I'm done gatekeeping. Here are all of my favorite Sephora purchases that I can't live without. Hi gorgeous, welcome back to the beauty room. My name is Elle if you're new to my channel, and as most of you know, Sephora is having their annual spring savings event starting on April 5th. This basically means that if you are part of their rewards program, you can get anywhere between 10, 15, 20% off and 30% off of their Sephora collection. If you have been watching my videos, you know that I post a lot of Sephora shopping videos. I try a lot of products from Sephora, but in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the best of the best. So hopefully this video is helpful for those of you who are looking to shop the sale and looking for recommendations on what to buy. I'd also love to hear what your favorite purchases from Sephora are down in the comments below, because I'm currently in the middle of making my Sephora shopping wish list and I just want to see what you recommend. For those of you who are on a tight budget and you like to watch my videos because I don't recommend or say that I love everything, this is just a reminder that you do not need to shop this Sephora sale, especially if you're only getting 10, 15, and even 20% off. If you really think about it, it's not that good of a sale. A lot of these brands have their own sales throughout the year on their individual websites that are sometimes the same or even better. So this is not a sale that I feel like you have to rush into. It's not something that you are going to be missing out on. So if you are deciding not to shop the sale, more power to you. I'm hoping that this video instead will serve more as a review video versus a you must buy this kind of video, if you know what I mean. Personally, I am a Rouge member at Sephora because I spend way too much money there. Way too much money there. So it really makes no difference when I shop at Sephora, but because they have their spring savings event, I am going to shop it and get 20% off of products I was going to buy full price anyways. And if you are someone who will be shopping the Sephora sale with me, then I will link all of my favorite products down in the description below with my affiliate link. I earn a small commission, but there is never any pressure to shop through those links. This is just another way that you can support me and my channel. Either way, I just really appreciate you being here and watching my videos anyways. And the last thing, I promise, this is the last thing, I will be announcing a Sephora giveaway in the month of April. But the catch is, this is going to be a hidden giveaway somewhere in one of my upcoming videos. I can't tell you which video it's going to be in, but if you're interested in finding out what the prize is and how you can enter, then make sure you're subscribed and you're watching my upcoming videos. All right, I've said enough. Let's get into my all-time favorite Sephora purchases that I literally cannot live without. My number one favorite purchase that I have been rebuying over and over again, and nothing has beat this out as number one, is the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. This is my all-time favorite holy grail brow gel. If you want long-lasting laminated eyebrows, this is the brow gel. I have tried so many other brow gels at Sephora and Ulta and even the drugstore, and nothing has topped this yet. Nothing has beat this yet. It is the most strong hold brow gel I've ever tried. Even in comparison to soap brow, it does not compare. This is the best of the best. I can't stop repurchasing it. I think I purchase one or two every single year, and it continues to be number one. But the only thing I will say is that it will make your brows a little crunchy once it sets down. So if you don't like a crunchy brow once it sets down, the second best, in my opinion, is the Rare Beauty Brow Gel. So this one is more of a recent release and everyone is obsessed with this, and I can definitely see why. It is very close to the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. It has almost as strong as a hold, almost as strong of a hold as the Benefit Brow Gel, and I actually like the brush applicator of this better. I feel like it just combs out my eyebrow hairs a lot more evenly, and it's a lot less crunchy than the Benefit one. So if that's what you're looking for, I would go for the Rare Beauty. It still has a really good strong hold, but if you want something that's going to last a lot longer and you don't mind the crunchiness in your eyebrows, then the 24-Hour Brow Setter from Benefit. Next up, up, let's talk concealer. This is the hardest category for me to really say what is my favorite because I have tried so many different concealers in the past 6 months. I've done quite a few videos about the newest concealers. I've tried a lot of viral concealers. If you're interested in watching that video, I will link it somewhere in the cards. If you're on the hunt for a new concealer for acne prone textured oily skin, then you're gonna want to watch this video before you shop because I tried some of the most viral concealers and you best believe I'm gonna share with you my real unfiltered review. But after some time, I have concluded that these are my top 2 favorites of all time, especially at Sephora. For those of you who are looking for a really hydrating, minimal creasing under eye concealer, my top pick is the Kulfi True Match Concealer, I think it's called. No, Main Match Concealer, and it's in the shade Mango Drop for me. This is a shade that's close to my skin tone, which is what I prefer in case you need that reference. In full transparency, I didn't pay for this myself. I got this in PR and I am so happy that they sent this to me because I don't know if this would have been a concealer that I purchased on my own because Sephora has so many different options. This would have probably fell a little bit lower on that purchase list for me. But now that I have it and now that I've compared it to so many other concealers, it is the best one in my opinion under the eyes. This is the most hydrating, glowy, luminous concealer. It is a medium coverage, so easy to blend on the skin and so easy to work with, especially when you put powder on top of it. I feel like it works really well with matte powders and my under eyes don't look cakey at the end of the day because this is such a hydrating concealer. I have oily skin, but under my eyes, I do like a good hydrating concealer and this really does the job for me. Not only that, it's the only concealer that has very minimal to no creasing under the eyes. And I thought that was impossible for me because I do have like a wrinkle or a line under my eyes that will always crease no matter what I use. But with this, I get very little to no creasing at all. It just depends on the day. My next concealer favorite is actually a color corrector instead of like a full coverage concealer. In the past, I want to say like few years, I have really been trying to find that perfect color corrector. I've tried quite a few drugstore color correctors and a few color correctors from Sephora and Ulta, but I have yet to find the best of the best. And this right here is more of a recent discovery, but I already feel like it's going to be my holy grail, and I think my hunt for finding that perfect color corrector is done. It is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Color Corrector, and I have the shade in Peach. First of all, I don't know, there's something I like about this packaging. I love the orange, it matches really well with the peach, and the actual applicator is so easy to apply on. It's not like her other concealers with a thick doe foot. I really don't like that. This one is a lot more practical, and what makes this so special is that it's the first shade of color corrector that I actually think works on my skin tone. If it's the wrong shade, I realize it just doesn't work for me. On top of that, the actual formula of this concealer is so good. Like, it just makes sense. A lot of color correctors I've tried in the past are more of a creamy consistency. This one is a thinner serum-like thin liquid consistency, which makes it so easy to layer on with other makeup. And when it comes to color corrector, you're usually layering on with like another concealer or another foundation. And this is so thin, but also pigmented enough so that when you put on other layers of makeup, your makeup doesn't look cakey and it works really well with other products. So I'm not going to be searching for any more color correctors. I'm just gonna keep using this one. Moving on to my favorite category, which is blush. These are my top 2 all-time favorite blushes. No one can take these away from me. I'm wearing it on my cheeks today and I wear them in combination with each other. If you watched my channel, you can kind of guess what's coming. If not, here it is. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Beauty Blush Wand in the shade Peach Pop specifically. Now the formula of this overall is really good. This is my everyday blush. It gives you that like Dior blush look, if you know what I'm saying. Like that really fresh, flushed look that's almost natural but also kind of animated, and I really like that about this. I also love the formula because it's more of a matte liquid blush, and there's a lot of liquid blushes out there that lean a little bit more glowy, and y'all know I got texture on my cheeks, so I try to go for matte products, and this really does do a good job at kind of like blurring my skin, softening my skin, but still giving that long-lasting blush color, which I really like. She is expensive, I have to admit. She's expensive, but that's why I think during the Sephora sale, it'll make it a little less difficult to swallow. Does that make sense? That's why I think during the Sephora sale, it'll make it a little bit less painful to purchase this because it will be for a discount. The second blush is one that I layer with the Peach Pop shade, and it is the Patrick Ta Blush Duo in the shade She's the Moment, okay? I don't know if you can tell, these shades are literally almost exactly the same. The Patrick Ta one is just like a powder and cream version of Peach Pop. I was so happy to see the shade released. I'm not a diehard fan of his blush duos. I think the way that other people are. I think the formulas are okay. Like, I really don't find anything crazy special about the formula itself. But what I love about this line is how many beautiful shades of blush that he has in comparison to what's on the market. And this shade is one of them. I layer it on top of the Peach Pop shade, and I just think it looks so pretty. You can also add the cream on top for just a little bit of more pigmentation and glow. I really like this. I've been wearing this almost every time I wear my makeup. These two together, 10 out of 10. If you're ever wondering what blush I have on my cheeks, it's likely these two. Next up is an oldie but a goodie, and I wanted to include it in this video because I have recently realized that this is my top pick for cream bronzer. Again, I have tried so many cream bronzers. I've even done a comparison video on my channel, which I will link in the cards if you're interested in that. I did the dirty work for you so that your wallet can save some coin. So I'm gonna break down some of the most popular cream bronzers and contours, give you the tea on the pricing, the shade range, the texture, and let you know who I would recommend the product for, because really there's not a bad cream bronzer I've tried. It just depends on what you prefer. And after some time of comparing and trying them out, I just realized that this is still number one for me. Holy grail. It's the Huda Beauty Tantour in the shade Light. And just to show you how much I love it, I've even hit pan on it. And this is my second purchase of this, okay? It is almost like nothing that I've seen released recently when it comes to cream bronzers. My second favorite is the Rare Beauty like cream bronzer sticks, and the formula is very similar. It's like that cream to powder formula. So if you prefer more of a stick, then I recommend the Rare Beauty one, but there's just something about this formula that is a lot more blurring on my skin. It has just the right amount of pigment for like a tan bronzing color, and it's also supposed to be that mixture between like a bronzing color and a contour color, and I find that this does lean slightly more bronzing, but I do like how it's not super orange. It just really fits well with my skin tone, and the way that this blends with all kinds of foundations, I can't complain. There is nothing to complain about with this at all, and I just wanted to remind you about this in case you forgot about it, because I think it was popular when it first released and it was everyone's favorite, but after some time we've forgotten about it, and I'm trying to bring it back, okay? As for powder bronzer, I feel like there's so many good ones on the market. It was really hard for me to choose one that was my all-time favorite, most recommended. So keep this in mind that there's still other powder bronzers that I absolutely love. But in case you wanted to do a little bit of a splurge because it's the Sephora sale, the powder bronzer that I'm gonna recommend is from Gucci. Yes, this is for all of my luxury girlies who don't mind splurging a bit. This is the one product from Gucci that I've tried that I'm like, yes, I feel so satisfied that I purchased this. Even though it was expensive, I kind of forgot how expensive it was because I reach for this pretty often, almost every time I do my makeup, especially recently. What I love about it is, of course, the packaging is gorgeous. It looks like a vintage compact. That's what I expect from luxury makeup. Like, I expect for it to be beautiful and make me want to pick it up every single morning that I do my makeup, right? And that's what this is giving to me. I feel like I reach for it, not just because the packaging is beautiful, but the product inside is also beautiful and high quality. So just keep in mind, packaging is plastic. Like, it's not luxury that in a way that feels weighted. It just looks really pretty. In relation to that, it has that little compact, a mirror, and inside you get a brush that I just don't use. The actual formula itself is more of a natural matte finish. It has glitters in it, which was a little bit scary for me, but I don't really notice it on my cheeks at all. I feel like it's just like an added thing that does absolutely nothing to the product. It also does have a slight scent to it, so keep that in mind. But again, for the first time, like, I don't mind how this smells. Like, I actually reach for this because I love the way that it smells. It has this very like sweet, soft, non-offensive smell, and I don't love scents in my beauty products, but this one I really don't mind. The shade that I have in this is 03, which is more of a warm tone shade, but it's not too orange where I just get turned off and I don't wear it. I feel like it fits my skin tone pretty well. Again, I don't think this is a necessity because there's so many amazing bronzers out there, but if you're looking to treat yourself and you just want that one really good bronzer that feels like luxury, smells like luxury, acts like luxury, then this is what I would recommend. All right, let's talk about highlighter. Highlighter is a little bit of a more difficult topic for me because I don't wear highlighter that often, and when I do not wear highlighter in the way that I did in 2016. I like a very subtle highlight like I have on my cheeks today. But for those of you who are looking to splurge a little bit on a good glowy product, the two that I would recommend are from Charlotte Tilbury and Rare Beauty. Charlotte Tilbury is more for those of you who have skin like mine, like if you have textured cheeks and you still want a glowy highlight, but you don't want it to enhance your pores or your texture, then I would go with Charlotte Tilbury. I have the shade in Gilded Glow. I'm not saying this is like blurring at all. It's not a blurring highlighter. Highlighters will like never be blurring, but it isn't as like metallic as a lot of other highlighters. It's kind of like, dare I say, like a matte highlighter. Does that make any logical sense? Probably not. Or like a luminous highlighter. It gives you a sheen, but it doesn't look metallic. It's not glitzy, which means the highlighter is a little bit more subtle. I personally reach for this highlighter more for every day, and I just think it is a bit more flattering on my cheeks than the Rare Beauty highlighter. I still stand by the Rare Beauty highlighter. It's one of my favorite products from Rare Beauty, one of their best formulated products I would say that they own. Unfortunately, mine has cracked and seen better days, but if you're looking for a blinding highlight that's silky, soft, a little bit more noticeable, then Rare Beauty is the way to go. My favorite shade for my skin tone is in the shade Flaunt. It's just that perfect champagne gold color without being too stark on the skin. It really blends in well with my undertones. Highly recommend this if that's what you're looking for. They recently also came out with deeper shades of their highlighter, so there's a little bit more variety, and I would just highly recommend this formula. Now I have to go pick up the Disaster. Just don't drop it, okay? It's gonna end up like this, unfortunately. If you're wondering what Sephora foundation I recommend, I'm not gonna share one in this video, even though I do have a couple that I could recommend. My only problem is I don't know if there's one that I can stand by or have stood by long term yet. So I'm going to probably try out some more foundations, wait a little bit longer until there's a number one foundation that I'm like, this is it for me. This is my holy grail. Highly recommend, and I will keep going back to it. Truthfully, my all-time favorite foundation is from the drugstore. So I don't know what that says about me or what that says about Sephora foundations, but yeah, I'm not gonna recommend one just because I do prefer drugstore foundation, shockingly. As for powder, I'm a powder girly. I have oily skin, I have textured skin. Number one favorite, hands down, most recommended for oily skin is going to be One Size. This is my top pick for oily skin powder because it's the only one that I actually feel like I don't have to touch up so much throughout the day. I feel like this powder was made for me because the shade Sweet Honey actually works with my skin tone. I don't know if you can relate, but it's been so hard to find a powder that actually works on my skin tone. Translucent does not work for me. Even sometimes banana shades don't work for me. Pink powder shades do not work for me. My skin tone is just something different. I don't really know, but the shade Sweet Honey works really well on my skin tone. I feel like it does a good job at like setting my skin, giving me a little bit of extra coverage, but it doesn't change the look of my foundation color. It also isn't super like stark white and ashy on my skin tone, which I feel like a lot of powders do. I do have to warn you though, if you have dry skin, I wouldn't recommend this. It might work for you if you have combination skin. This is a heavy powder. I mainly love to wear it on camera and whenever I'm taking pictures because it is that like baking makeup powder. It's not going to give you that natural makeup look. It's going to be like a makeup powder. So if that's what you're looking for, this is what I would recommend. But if you're looking for something that's a little bit more natural, less difficult to work with, and looks a little bit more like skin, I would highly recommend the Hourglass powder. And they've recently come out with new shades. So they now have a medium shade, which was so exciting for me because I love the formula, but the translucent shade just never worked for me. Now that they have the medium shade, I feel like I can really recommend this. It blurs your skin kind of like a matte powder, but it still has a luminous finish, which makes it look a lot more like skin. You're not going to be super flat. It's a very finely milled powder, so a little goes a long way and you can, you know, layer it on, and I don't find it's easy to get cakey with this one as it is with this one. Like with One Size, if you're not careful, your makeup can look really cakey, but with Hourglass, your makeup will just look set, flawless, just like your skin, and it fades well throughout the day. The only thing is if you have oily skin, like this is something that you're going to have to touch up and blot because it's not the most mattifying, oil controlling powder I've tried. Speaking of long lasting makeup, my next favorite is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Y'all, this is all over the internet. Everyone seems to love this, and I am one of those people. This is actually, I think, my 4th bottle, and I'm literally, I'm almost out, y'all. I'm almost out of this. That just goes to show how much I actually love this. I stand by it, and it's something that I can really recommend with my whole heart for y'all. I think what makes this so good is it really just simply does what it's supposed to do. Lock in your makeup. It also melts your makeup together so it looks really seamless on the skin. I really like to use this before I apply on powder, so I'll just spray a bunch of this all over my face. I'll let it dry, I'll take a sponge and I'll just pat it into my skin, and that will just lock in the makeup. It has like the slightly sticky finish, which I think is what helps it kind of lock in the makeup, and that's why I like to use it before powder, because once I put on powder on that like sticky finish, everything is just stuck on my face. It lasts all day. I also really like the scent of this. It kind of reminds me of the Gucci scent. It's just that really soft and sweet scent, not offensive at all. The next product that I cannot live without is eyeshadow. Now technically, I can live without eyeshadow. Like I could really just do my makeup with everything else, and if someone banned eyeshadow, I would not care, truthfully. But when I, am in the mood for eyeshadow, the palette I'm using is the Patrick Ta Major Dimensions 3 matte palette, and y'all, this is such a good formula. Patrick Ta, you did it with this eyeshadow formula. He has one of the best matte eyeshadow formulas that I've ever tried. It's creamy but also powdery and soft. There is a significant amount of fallout in the sense of like not all over your face, but like when you put your brush in, there is a lot of fallout because it's just such a soft powder, but that makes it so easy to blend on the eyes. It's also very very blendable and it's easy to build up without looking muddy or patchy. And then you also have these two cream eyeshadows in a dark brown and black. I usually use the dark brown. I have this on my eyes today and I'll line it with the dark brown and then set it with one of the eyeshadow colors. I love this formula. I also love the color story. It's just very basic and that's what I've been going for lately, is a basic eyeshadow look. I also prefer this formula over the Makeup by Mario Master Matte formula. That formula was just very patchy and muddy to me, even though I love the color story and I really tried to make it work. This formula, she's more expensive, but she is superior. Moving on to lip products, I forgot to mention that I do have another Sephora recommendations video of products I love under $30. So if you want to check that out, I'll link it somewhere in the cards if you want to watch it. I do recommend like a handful of lip products, but aside from those lip products, these are the ones that I can't live without. Number one is the Buxom, what is this called? Full On Plumping Lip Cream in the shade Moscow Mule. I have it on my lips today, mixed with a lip liner and a lipstick, which I will link in the description if you're interested. The shade Moscow Mule and the formula from Buxom is just my comfort gloss. It's my tried and true. I go back to this every single time. I layer it on top of a lot of other lip products. It's the best. Like, it really is the best. And if you love a plumping lip cream or just lip gloss, do not sleep on Buxom. Like, Buxom is the OG plumping lip gloss brand. Their formula still holds true to this day, despite a bunch of other brands coming out with plumping lip glosses. I've tried the newer plumping lip glosses, and I still think that this formula is better. It's an oldie, but it's a goodie. It just gives you, like, if you can see my lips, most of the times, if you're wondering, like, what lip gloss am I wearing in my videos, it's this one. It's Moscow Mule from Buxom. If you look at my lips, it has that plump to it. It has that juice to it. It also like fills in the cracks and lines of my lips, so it looks really smooth. It has that minty, tingly feeling, but it's not painful. It smells really good. It kind of like feels like fresh breath is the way that I would describe like the feeling and the taste. It's nothing uncomfortable at all. And it has this like stickiness to it that makes it really long lasting. And when you rub your lips together, it feels very soft. So this is something that I cannot live without. I am going to be repurchasing it whenever I run out. I'm pretty close. It's my favorite shade. It's my favorite formula. Highly recommend. Now, if you're looking to splurge a little, you know, on some luxury makeup like Gucci, my next recommendation would be the YSL Candy Glazes. I know this one is a little bit more of a hyped up recommendation. You've probably seen this all over your For You page, but it's one that I can stand by and one that I also agree with. I have two different shades in 15 and 04 that I love. Number 15 is more of a rosy brownie nude. It's slightly too light for me, so I have to wear that shade with a lip liner. And number 04 is more of a warm tone brown nude that I can wear alone. First of all, packaging, gorgeous. There's a little bit of a weight to it, so I don't think you'll be disappointed in the way that this looks, in the way that this feels for like a pricey item. But the formula itself is beautiful. Like, it has this moisture, hydrating, nourishing feeling to it, and it gives you that gloss, but also it's kind of like a lipstick, so there's pigment to it. It's a lot more pigmented than the Buxom one, but it's very comforting on the lips, and I don't find it to be very drying. If you prefer, you can also get this in a clear shade if you just want like a luxury lip balm. Either direction you go, if you like a very hydrating, glossy lip with a lot more pigment, then I would get the YSL Candy Glaze. My last favorite when it comes to makeup are actually brushes. So the ones that I would highly recommend is the Sephora 64 Pro Foundation Brush. You do get 30% off Sephora collection during the sale, no matter what tier you are with Sephora. I use this for just cream liquid products in general. It's just a regular foundation brush that also is a little bit sparse towards the end. So it's kind of like a stippling brush in a way, but it's a lot more dense, which makes it really good to buff out foundation, makes it really good to use with your cream products, to blend liquid products. I find that this brush is so versatile. Don't get me wrong though, Sephora collection has some dud brushes. Don't trust all of them. Like, I don't think they're all made the same. Now, if you're into more double-sided brushes, I really love the Patrick Ta Face number 3 brush. This is more for his blush duos, and I have his other brush duos, and truthfully, I don't really love them, and I don't think the other ones are really worth it, but I just love this right here, which is like used for the cream side. It's just such a chunky blush brush, and for me, I love, you know, piling on that blush, as you can tell. And if you are a blush person and you don't mind like packing on that blush, this is the brush that I love to use to get that look. And then you also have more of the, what is this called, like sparse blush side that's a little bit more loose to really blend it out if you want more of a softer blend. It is pricey, but at least at the Sephora sale you will get a discount. And the other duo brushes that I highly recommend, I actually am like now questioning whether you can get these at Sephora or not. Hopefully you can get 1 or 2 of these, but they're the Hourglass brushes. These are definitely more of a nice to have instead of a must have, but if you can swing purchasing them, I don't think you'll be disappointed, because I got these during Black Friday for like 50% off, which is absolutely insane, and they are such soft brushes. But not only that, I just feel like they do a good job at applying whatever I want to apply, and I believe they are a like synthetic kind of brush, so you can use them with powder and you can use them with cream. They work really well with either type of formula. I love it. I have these 2 duos, and I also have individuals, which I also recommend. This foundation brush right here, love it. Concealer brush, my favorite. So freaking soft, and it has that kind of like paw-like shape to it, and I use this to apply under the eyes, and it just does such an easy, seamless job at blending out concealer. Highly recommend Hourglass brushes. Let's move on to skincare. Now, the thing about skincare is I am more conservative when it comes to how I spend my money on skincare, because I'm very, very particular. That's all to say, the skincare that I do like from Sephora though is the Youth to the People Superfood Cleanser. I love this stuff, and you might think, do you really though? That's a full bottle, Elle. That's a full bottle. Yes, I do, okay? This is my, I think my 3rd refill. Is this necessary to splurge on a cleanser? No, I do not think so. There's so many great drugstore ones, but I will say I love the feeling of this cleanser, and I think it cleans my skin really well in comparison to a lot of the other drugstore cleansers I've tried in the past. The best way I can describe it is like using an off-brand like dish soap versus Dawn Platinum dish soap, you know? Like, Dawn Platinum dish soap is my favorite because it like cleans so well in comparison to so many other dish soaps I've tried. Even though the other dish soaps still work, Dawn is the one. And that's how I would compare this with like drugstore cleansers. You don't necessarily need to buy this, but I love it. If you are looking for more of a nourishing cleanser, wouldn't recommend this. But if you have oily skin, combo skin, you wear a lot of makeup, and you need something that's really going to keep that skin fresh, Youth to the People Superfood. And when it comes to a moisturizer, I actually don't have any that I use from Sephora anymore, because I don't know, I feel like it wasn't like hydrating my skin enough, so I started using Korean skincare instead. What I do use from Sephora that has helped me a lot is the Glow Recipe Dewdrops and the Biossance Squalane Oil or Squalane Oil. I mix these 2 together before bed, and my skin, when I wake up, it's so glowy, fresh, awake. Like, I don't know how to explain it. So highly recommend this combo. I have oily skin, so I do not do this during the day, but before bed, maybe a few times a week, I will do this whenever my skin needs that extra oomph to it, and it has just made such a significant difference. As for body care, I feel like a lot of the body care I've tried from Sephora is not worth the price for me, because there's just so many good drugstore body care products. The only thing that I've purchased that I really like and would recommend for body care is the Necessaire body serum. It's fragrance free. When I bought this in November, I was skeptical because who the heck needs a body serum? Like, really, do we need that? I was wrong. I was wrong. Yes, apparently I do, because this just feels so hydrating and nourishing on the skin. The best way I would describe this is more like a gel moisturizer for your skin. So if you are oily skin, you know what I mean. It has like a gel-like texture. It's a little bit thinner, sinks into your skin a lot faster. And if you have dry skin, especially in the wintertime, this has made such a difference for my skin. It was worth it to me. Like, I actually found that I was getting excited every time after a shower when I was putting this on. So that's a really good sign. And if you were ever wondering what I smelled like in real life, this is probably what I'm wearing. It is the Gabrielle Chanel perfume. As you can tell, I'm almost out. I have, like, honestly, I have a lot of uses left of this. Very little goes a long way with this perfume. I have been wearing this for years. I think this is either my second or third bottle. I can't remember. I just know that I have been using this for years and it lasts me such a long time. The best way I can describe this scent is very fresh, slightly like lemony, but not like sweet lemon, not fruity lemon, just like a clean, fresh lemon scent with a little bit of muskiness to it. I love wearing this after a shower. It makes me just feel sophisticated and clean. Let me look up the notes because I feel like very strange describing fragrance. This is why I am not a fragrance channel, because I don't buy fragrance like that. Let's see, how would they describe this? Scent type: classic florals, which I smell that, but like, it's not like your typical florals. So yes, there's florals in there. Keynotes are jasmine, lang lang, orange blossom, something else that I can't pronounce. So it's meant to be more of a floral scent, and I see that, but for my nose personally, I don't think it smells like a classic floral that smells like real roses or flowers. It smells like, I just don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it. I did my best. Go to the store, smell it, let me know what you think. All right, y'all, I think that is all of my favorite Sephora purchases that I cannot live without. I'm sure there's more that I probably missed in this video, but hopefully it was helpful in case you wanted some reviews on products, in case you wanted to, you know, have some ideas and recommendations if you are also shopping the sale. Again, I would love to hear what your recommendations are down in the comments below. What is something that you absolutely love and you think that I need to purchase? I'm not saying I'm gonna buy it, but I might consider it. If for some reason this video was not enough for you and you want to hear more of my Sephora recommendations, I have another one that I posted in the past. I will link it somewhere in the cards, so I will see you over there. But again, if you're new to my channel, I hope you subscribe if you enjoyed, like this video if it was helpful to you, and as always, I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye!